Hello, my name is Anna Abram. My area of work is ethics, including theological ethics and moral theology, and it is a great joy for me to engage with you on the topic of moral imagination in the context of faith. I have been interested in the idea of imagination as essential to moral development for some time, and I would love to share with you one of my papers, which will be one of the key readings for this session. I have been really impressed with your points that you generously shared on the forum, and I hope you will take part in conversation about some of the ideas we will be discussing as part of this session. One point of clarification before we begin. This session will not engage with philosophical or theological explorations of the relationship between faith and morality or religion and morality. It takes it for granted that faith and morality, while being distinct, and it is helpful sometimes to distinguish between them for theoretical engagements, these two dimensions of human experience are two sides of the same coin. To put it differently, faith informs our moral thinking and behaving. And I hope that this session indirectly will substantiate this claim and the relationship between faith and morality further, and our engagements with the material for this session will help to understand better the role that imagination, and moral imagination in particular, has in our faith formation. I am proposing the following structure for this session. First, I would like to suggest that you take some time after watching this video, not at this very moment, to think about your own definition of imagination. What do you mean by imagination? Next, please try to describe the power or powers of imagination. Perhaps list 3 key points that you think are important for discussing the power of imagination. And finally, please list also perhaps 3 key points related to some potential difficulties or problems with imagination. What are the problems with our relying on imagination? So the 3 questions are: what is imagination? What are its powers? What potential problems can imagination cause? And these are the 3 questions that I would like you to think about after this video. The second video will offer a brief theoretical overview of imagination, and it will explain why I am suggesting that this session focuses on a particular type of imagination, namely moral imagination. In video 3, I will invite you to engage with one of my favorite poems by Czesław Miłosz, a Polish poet. You can guess from my accent that I'm Polish, and I will ask you to listen and read one of his poems entitled Campo dei Fiori. To assist our engagement, you will have a handout which will take you through some of theoretical issues signaled in video 2, but also will give you some further readings and some notes to take home. While video 3, which introduces you to a poem and aims to foster your own imaginative engagement with the message of the poem, video 4 will focus on a biblical narrative, the story of David and Bathsheba in the 2nd book of Samuel, and it will be accompanied by 2 paintings. Video 5, which will be the final audio-visual input from me, will attempt to summarize some of the ideas that the poem, the biblical narrative, and the visual images associated with them illuminate, challenge, and provoke. It will pose some questions and will introduce you to 2 other readings relevant to the session. Just to clarify, the first reading, a text which I wrote some years ago on the theme of moral imagination and solidarity, and titled The Art of Solidarity, is included in the handout. The other 2 texts that I will be asking you to read will be available in part 2 of the session. Each text is accompanied by a number of questions and suggestions for you to think about. But please don't feel limited by my questions and suggestions. You are likely to have your own points to share, and I will be most interested in them. There is a list of further readings on the module page here on Hedwig, but if there is a particular question that you would like to explore further, please let me know and I will be able to suggest some other readings. Equally, if you find through your own research some readings that are not included on my list, I will be delighted to hear about them. Most of all, I hope you will enjoy this session, and I hope that you will be able to mobilize your own moral imagination through the engagements with the text and images and readings, and you will be able to share your thoughts with the group at some point. Thank you very much.